Hey, we're live. Oh, good. That looks way better. Hey, guys. Hey, welcome to my channel. I am Mandy, the birth nurse. And if you could hear me and if you are here, let us know. We are live today. And if you're new here, then welcome. This is my first video of 2019. We were just talking about how I was gone for a little bit. There was a little hiccup there with YouTube shutting my channel down for a little bit over Christmas, but we're back, and this channel is all about getting real with birth. I'm a labor and delivery nurse and a childbirth educator, and my goal, my mission is to change birth culture, and I'm doing that by helping new families turn fear into their superpower, powers you never knew you had, and one of those powers is breastfeeding. So if you choose to breastfeed your babies, then you are in the right place, because we are getting real with some wine. We're not going to whine as much as talk, but this is also not real wine. Unfortunately, this is my good friend Kendra, and if you guys have watched the latest series on breastfeeding sucks, Real Talk, Kendra, I invited Kendra back. Actually, you invited Kendra back. You begged for Kendra to come back and answer the over 100 questions that we got. Yeah, and it's breaking Kendra's heart that we can't answer every single one of them tonight. She was like, how fast are we going to go? But we are answering your questions because, and we were just talking about this before we got on, because we're friends, we get together, we talk about breastfeeding, we work together also, and there are so many answers out there that are so confusing. We hear so many stories on what you should do, what you shouldn't do, how to do it right, and we want to help you with real talk. So we're answering your questions today. If you have them while we're live, put them in the chat box right now. Otherwise, the question for the night is, where are you right now in your breastfeeding journey? Are you a breastfeeding support person like us? Are you pregnant and just breastfeeding curious? Are you breastfeeding a toddler, breastfeeding a newborn, breastfeeding right now? Let us know in the comments. Kendra, thanks for coming back.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for all the questions.
Yeah, you guys blew it up with questions. So we have been hard at work, like going through them. And the ones we get tonight, we will get to, hopefully. So Kendra, where are you in your breastfeeding journey today? What's been going on this week?
Well, right now we are recovering from systemic flood within our household. I have an 11-month-old who just spent at least a good 12 to 15 hours of active in the area. Somehow we managed to push through that, and everyone else in the household except for me, so I consider that some difficulties.
How much breast milk did you consume? Okay. You don't have to.
I haven't consumed any. I did find, though, that my 11-month-old did still nurse relatively often, which maybe is, believe it or not, her duration of illness was shortened in comparison to the other family members. So I think that's probably to credit, but we pushed through it, and she would basically nurse for comfort and then get sick again. But nonetheless, we continued.
So that must have been exhausting, even though you weren't sick.
It was, especially considering I had a sick toddler as well. It was terrible.
It's been bad.
I thought that one sick kid was hurting.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they can't read.
Sorry,
Thanks,
guys. Can you hear me now?
Thanks, girl. Having one sick kid, I thought was the hardest thing, but having two.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, we'll just keep going because
Mandy might be a little loud.
I'm going to talk louder and I'm going to change this. Thank you for updating. I think you just have to like be super close. Yeah. We'll get friendly and I'll lean back.
Okay, good.
Thanks, Megan.
Thanks, guys. Sorry.
Luckily, we're just beginning, and Kendra has 6 kids. Oh, an 11-month-old?
Yes.
I don't know how old mine is. Mine is like 19 months, almost 20 months maybe. And she's teething. She's getting like these pointy ones. Yes. And so she was up last night 3 times, the night before 5 times. Yeah, I'm kind of tired and struggling. And in the morning, I'm like, why does my boob hurt? Well, she only nurses on one side. I've told you that, I think. I don't know what. It was like initially our latch was weird. So I only have milk on one side. So she's up a lot. And I never needed any creams. I mean, I tried a bunch of creams the first time with my baby because I was trying to help that pain. But I get it. I have dry areolas.
Sounds like a personal problem.
It is a personal problem, and my daughter has caused it.
Oh, it's terrible.
Okay, well, if you've never experienced it, it's itchy and dry. And I'm like holding my one side, my money maker. I'm actually using a product that I never really understood until I'm nursing a toddler. So I'll put the link for it because I think now you can get it on Amazon. Thank you so much, Earth Mama, for putting it on Amazon. It makes it so easy. But this is nipple butter, and it is. I put it on my lips the other day because we were sick. It's just good.
All kinds of things.
Yeah, it's like shea butter. So maybe like udder cream. There's all kinds of things. But if you have the dryness, then you're speaking my language. We're getting a bunch of questions. So thank you and welcome. And I'm so glad you guys are here with us. Let us know where you are in your breastfeeding journey or not on your journey, just why you're here. I'd love to hear. And we are going to start with some questions that we got. So I've been posting on YouTube and also on Facebook. And these are some that we got. Bruna, you're here. I'm so glad we have your question. We've got a bunch of questions from you, girl. And we are here to also just support you that we are also nursing, and it is freaking hard sometimes. So this isn't going to like go super deep, but these are common questions, and we're getting a bunch of the same ones. So you guys are in the same boat. Please, Bruna, please, I need more guidance on how to continue breastfeeding when away from my baby due to work. What would you say?
I think the best advice I can give on returning to work or continuing to breastfeed while working and being away from baby is making sure that you have access to your pump and a place to pump at work, as well as bringing anything that you'll need to keep your milk cold for the remainder of the day. Aside from that, it's hard depending on what you do for a living. It's hard to make sure sometimes that you're keeping up with fluids and your intake in general, fluids and your diet. So I think making sure that you're staying on top of that. At least make time for that. Keep the water handy and keep refilling that. Minimum, stay hydrated, but try to snack throughout the day.
I found pumping at work was super all-consuming.
Takes a lot of time and a lot of dedication. It's really easy to get pulled into something else.
Yeah.
You want to help somebody else and then not make time for pumping for your own baby.
Yeah.
So I think I probably learned that a little bit better after having a second baby, but making sure that you speak up and say, I have to pump. It's something I have to make time for. I have to with you.
Yeah, because your number one is your family.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be. And it's not forever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Bruna, we wish you best of luck. We are right here with you. Pumping at work is so hard. It's so hard, but that it's because you make it a priority and it's not work. And so you're at work not doing work. It feels wrong. You're splitting your time. I was splitting like my attention. I'd have to like turn off and when I went to pump and look at my kids' pictures and then turn back on when it was work time and not think about my milk. It's hard. All right, Mandy. Oh my gosh, I cut off your name on here. Mandy Munchkin. Mandy with 2 Y's. Thank you for your question. It says, not sure if this can fit in, but how do you deal with a pediatrician who says you should have baby on a feeding schedule instead of on demand? When do you feed on demand? How do you determine if the baby is crying from hunger or just needing comfort? Trying to avoid constant comfort nursing and relying on breasts to soothe like I did with my first. So Mandy is an experienced breastfeeding person, but she's probably finding out that every baby is different and oh my gosh.
For sure.
So you have like a latcher.
So I think that you will hear from most pediatricians that they would like to get your baby on a schedule from relatively early on. it's really ultimately going to be your decision, and you're going to have to follow your mom instincts. There's certainly a difference in comfort nursing versus feeding for hunger. But realistically, you're the one that's going to have to be okay with continuing to either soothe baby by giving the breast or finding something to distract them. So whether that be if they're old enough to have solid foods, if you can start introducing things to maybe defer from that, or if they want to take a toy, if you have something you can distract them from that. But I do find that a lot of pediatricians will tell you from early on to get baby on a schedule, and this is doable. I think it's also dependent on your living arrangements, your sleeping arrangements. Is baby sleeping in the same room as you? Is baby sleeping in the same bed as you? If not, you may find it easier to hold some of those feedings off if you're not next to baby at all times. So.
We talked about this question before we went live, because anything having to do with pediatricians talking about breastfeeding is tough to talk about, and you probably don't hear a lot about it. I never did.
Not until I had kids.
Yeah. I didn't know that it was going to be like a discussion. I just thought everyone was on the same page about nursing. You hear it's the best. Breast milk's the best, and that's what they say, give your baby breast milk. But then there's a bunch of rules that goes with it.
Yeah, for sure.
It makes it not sound like the best. So
I think it's hard to get that conflicting information. Breast is best, and feed your baby, and make sure in the beginning that you're feeding a minimum 8 times in 24 hours or on demand, and then all of a sudden you go to the pediatrician one day and they want to know how often your baby's feeding, and you tell them, and then you're like, I don't know, it's too much. So finding that happy medium, and I think really at times I have to remind myself that my 11-month-old is not going to be nursing for the rest of her life, and that I'm probably going to look back in the future and miss some of this. Right now, I don't always feel that way, but I know it's not going to last for forever, and I'm okay with the frequent feeding and the comfort nursing. And if that's something that you don't want to happen, there's certainly ways to avoid that as well, or try to help it if that is an issue for you right now.
Yeah, I just watched a YouTube video actually about a toddler weaning, because I'm having to set limits at night because we want to potty train. And it's really hard. My toddler nurses more at night than she does during the day right now. And she said, I know she's not nursing for nutrition. She eats food. She drinks water. Like she has hugs. She has bath time with my other parent. Like she has love and nutrition in her life, but she still nurses for comfort. And what they don't tell you is that you can't separate nutrition from comfort in nursing. Like maybe they just need a little snack and they feel like they're hungry, or they're teething, and my daughter's teething cry is worse than her hungry cry. It's hard to separate that. So I understand maybe where you're coming from. Like it's just like a suck on your time, but that was not intended to be a pun. But you have to know when you're like, you're fine, I have to put you down. But I think I think you get to know that as you get to know your baby. All right, you ready? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's do this. We're getting some questions over here too. Oh, good, Bruna. I'm so glad you're still here. Nursing my 1-month-old now, musical garden mom. That's awesome. I'm so glad you're here.
Lots of questions. Oh, I wish we could answer all of them. There's so many.
Bruna's breastfeeding her 3-month-old. Well, she's 3 months old now because we haven't been on here in a month. Okay. So Kayla Taylor had one maybe a few days ago. How to make more milk. Now, this was a popular question. When should you stop? If you were to find out you're pregnant again, should you continue breastfeeding or no? And what foods help increase breast milk? Of course, as always, your opinion, not trying to treat you like a doctor visit. Thank you. We always say these are our opinions, not medical advice. Always consult with your provider and your professional IBCLC for your specific. Good job, Kayla. You're like doing our own disclaimer. And she said, I think you're awesome. So
thanks, guys.
Awesome, Kendra.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kayla. Okay, there are a bunch of questions in there. How to make more milk, and when should you stop? I'm not Do you know what that means?
I'm thinking she's meaning when she should stop if she is pregnant again.
Oh, right.
So I'm assuming the question is.
Okay.
So this is again, like Mandy said, this is not medical advice. It's probably opinionated, and you're going to find different providers who are going to recommend different things. As far as making more milk, make sure you continue to drink plenty of fluids and that you're including that 500 extra calorie consumption a day. That's going to make a big difference, not even so much as what foods you're eating. Obviously, we want you to have those calories from some healthy calorie intake. Doesn't mean you can't still drink a little ice cream or whatever sweet you like, but we certainly want to make sure you're at least getting those minimum calories and lots of fluids. Otherwise, continuing to breastfeed while you're pregnant, it's hard. Some doctors are okay with it and some aren't. What you may find is that your nipples do become really sensitive during pregnancy, and a lot of moms at this point decide that they just can't continue due to that. And some moms actually experience their milk dry up, some or completely during pregnancy. So obviously it's different for everybody. There's no black and white answer to that question. But I think, again, if it's something that you want to continue to do, it's a goal for you, you're not ready to give it up. As long as you've consulted with your doctor and you haven't been given an absolute no, I would think it's okay to continue.
Cool. And you might, if you are pregnant, or not to like out pregnant you on this video for Kayla's friends, I don't know. But if you are pregnant, you might be seeing a drop in your milk just due to the pregnancy hormones. Same with when you stop nursing at night, or when your baby stops nursing at night, your hormones change. When you're not nursing like every few hours in a 24-hour period, your hormones change. When you're on birth control or an IUD, your hormones change.
Your period has returned.
Yep, that's because of a hormone change. And then your milk is affected usually. And there's a question, can you take birth control while breastfeeding? Does nursing have an impact on periods?
Great. So as
Thanks,
far
Jade.
as the birth control, from a lactation standpoint, we recommend that you wait at least 4 to 6 weeks to start any type of birth control after you deliver, just to make sure that your supply is regulated before you start that. Aside from that, what type of birth control you choose is going to have a big impact on it as well. It's best to talk to the provider about contraception that does not contain estrogen, which can have an impact on your supply. And then as far as your period returning, for mamas that exclusively pump, you may notice that your period comes back a lot sooner than if you're putting baby to breast alone. Pumping does not suppress the hormones like breastfeeding does. So you may notice that it does come back a good bit sooner. Aside from that, you may notice that around the time that your period comes, your baby may be extra fussy, your supply may dip some. The content of the milk does change and the taste changes, so a lot of times babies aren't a fan of that, and you may notice a little bit of pushback from that. It doesn't mean you can't get your supply back up, try to push through it, keep offering the breast to baby, but you can definitely continue to nurse with your period back.
So it changes your milk, but it doesn't make it bad.
It doesn't make it bad, but it does increase the sodium content, which a lot of times actually can make it salty tasting, and that's why babies typically don't love the taste of it. Breast milk is normally relatively sweet, so
yeah. If you get it on your fingers, it's like Coke or something. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. What was I going to say? I think that's a great reason to just like lay in the bed and snuggle your baby on your period. If only we could do that, right?
Your days off.
Right.
It's another good thing about going back to work, I should mention. If given the opportunity, if you've just recently returned to work or you work a lot of days in a row, long days, if you have a couple days off, spend them in bed with baby if you can. Nurse. That's really going to help to increase your supply when you have returned to work.
Okay. Lots of snuggles, as we can with our schedules.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so foods to help increase breast milk?
You want to continue to consume plenty of protein going to breastfeeding. I always keep a lot of really high protein snacks around. So peanut butter, cheese, nuts, like milk. That's true. Anything that's high protein, I try to keep on hand at all times. I know if I'm pumping or recent nurse, especially if I'm busy at work, you don't have a lot of time to stop and eat a high protein meal. So if you can grab something on the go, those are not only good to keep your energy up, but also to keep your
Yogurt. Yeah. I like yogurt too. Okay. Awesome. I hope that helps, Kayla. All right. Carlin Bronson says, thanks for your questions, guys. My son is 10 months old. This one makes me giggle because this is an older baby that's so real. My son is 10 months old and I am a working mom. He seems to be distracted constantly. My supply has started to dip, but want to make it to a year. Get it? Tips for distraction and how to increase supply 10 months in. So we kind of touched on that. Drinking water, eating high protein foods, eating enough calories, but also at 10 months, like they're mobile. They're crawling a lot of times, scooting.
Yep.
They might be eating food.
Yep. Which can also have an impact on your supply if they're taking in less breast milk and eating more table food.
Yeah.
One thing you could try for the distraction, if you haven't already, is a nursing necklace. I feel like that helps a lot, especially if we're going to be out somewhere and there's a lot of things going on and I need some type of distraction. If you're able to quiet trip to a car, a dressing room, wherever you are, or if you have the same spot at home and you have the same spot to nurse in, that minimum distraction is really going to help at this point. If it's hard to keep interested.
That is so age appropriate though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And that's why, I mean, I had like scratches on me because they were just like grabbing at my hair.
Keep the nails trimmed.
Yeah, keep the nails trimmed. But that's so normal and cute. And like, I think you're moving into like the most fun time of nursing. Some people don't agree. The gymnastics while they're nursing. I think it's so fun when the baby can ask for milk. I think that communication I just loved. But yeah, you're killing it. You're almost at a year. You're probably super close now that it's been a little bit since we've done one. All right, keep going. We're still good? Yeah, I think so. We're good. Okay, let's do one more and then we'll answer a few questions in the comments. You guys are like sticking with us and they keep coming. So are there any tricks to breast? Oh, Sarah Stacy, thanks for your question. I'm kind of new at this, so sorry. If I don't say thank you, I mean thank you. These are really good. Are there any tricks to breastfeeding a baby who is teething? We got a few questions about teething. My first had a hard time staying latched for more than a few seconds at a time while he was teething. It was painful for me to have him constantly unlatch and relatch over and over and over. 31 weeks pregnant, and I'm hoping to avoid that with my second.
So sore gums for baby can cause a painful latch for not only you, but baby as well. And hopefully the worst of that will come right before that tooth starts to erupt from the gum, and then I hope it's short-lived. That being said, I think if you can offer something cold for baby to chew on before a nursing session to hopefully numb the gums some. So cold washcloth, if you have teethers that you prefer to use, frozen breast milk, whatever it be. I have had a few friends that have had success with that, and it's worked well for them, so it's certainly worth a try to see if that helps some.
I think it's also a mindset.
For sure. Yeah.
Not a mindset that you're in pain because that's real. Mm-hmm. I mean a mindset like you're the mom, so they're going to go to you at their worst. Mm-hmm. And we are living this right now. We have two girls that are like clingers. I mean, mine just screams when she's with me, and I don't even know what she's screaming about.
I feel like she's obsessed.
Obsessed. They're obsessed with us. But really, it's the best and the worst. Like, it's so much touch. It's so much love.
Yeah.
But they're going to come to you when they feel their worst. Mm-hmm. And that's just because you're the mom. And that, I mean, I just feel like, this sucks. But she has no one else. You know, like, of course she has her dad and her grandma and grandpa. Like, she has people, but
if you're providing this specific comfort, this breastfeeding is comfort, then you're their person.
Mm-hmm.
So,
sure. Especially if they're to the point that they can come and ask for it.
Yeah.
You know what they're asking for. It's not like you can deny it. You have to give in.
Right.
It's over.
You're like, here's a cold popsicle. They're like, yeah, no. I'm going to need the milks. Or my daughter does this.
Yeah.
Milk, please. More.
Mine just smacks my chest. So.
Open up the doors. Okay, so Savannah G5. I don't is this your 5th question? I'm just going to go from the bottom right now because she's right here. Hey, Savannah. I don't understand why my baby cries at the breast. Then when she comes off, she cries too. I put her back on. She nurses for a couple seconds and then whimpers. What's going on? I've heard this from other people too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've experienced this, but I've also heard this question, but it's tricky because we're not with your baby. We don't know how old your baby is.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know, like, this could be a million things.
Could.
Okay.
Again, it's hard to answer this over a video, but, a lot of times I feel like some of the biggest causes for this, it could be that the flow is too fast, or it could be that the flow is too slow.
Yeah.
Either one. A lot of times when they start to pull off, I feel like it's more so that the flow has slowed down and they're not happy about it. Otherwise, it's hard to really answer this for sure because we don't know how old the baby is and any specific other things going on.
No, that's exactly what I was thinking. It's usually a flow, and it's hard to know if your baby pops off and milk flies out. That's probably a fast flow or a heavy flow. And then that's your 5th question, get it. I mean, I'm totally with you. It's so freaking confusing sometimes because we're answering and we're like, we don't even know.
And this helps them too, Savannah. I see you said also that your breasts have become soft, which it sounds like at 4 weeks out, it sounds like your supply has regulated to what baby's taking in. A lot of moms at this point feel like when they don't have that really full sensation all the time that their supply is dropped, but that's not so much the case. It's probably just that your body has regulated to what baby's taking in at this point.
Yeah, so 3, 4, 5 weeks, from what I understand, is like a huge change. The baby goes through a growth spurt. 7 weeks. The baby has gone through a few growth spurts, but also your hormones are now taking over. Like, the supply and demand part is taking over, right? Instead of just like, boom, I lost my placenta and I'm giving milk to the world.
Right.
Your body's like, nope, I'm giving milk to this one baby. So if your latch isn't stellar, like spot on, then she may not be directing your body correctly or for enough, or it could just be like 5 p.m.
And that oversupply in the beginning will typically compensate for anything. You feel really full all the time. Until your supply has regulated.
Or it could just be evening. And in that case, every baby's doing exactly the same thing. I think we talked on that. We talked about that in like cluster feeding. So, hello, Megan from Ontario, Canada, Panama, Bruna, you're adorable. Jessica West, breastfeeding my 4-week-old at this moment. I love that.
I'm not breastfeeding anybody right now. I love that.
Me either. Have a bra on that's not even breastfeeding friendly. Oh, Maya Cox, I think we answered your question. My baby is 2 months old and I just got my period. Can I still exclusively breastfeed?
Absolutely.
Yep. Megan, you're 34 weeks. Congratulations. Bruna, pregnant. Okay. Leah, pregnant with my first. Oh, where are the questions?
Keep scrolling.
Oh,
there you go.
Jade is getting prepared. Oh, Jade, how would you handle breastfeeding while on when needed opioid medication? Can I freeze it and bottle feed in those times?
So depending on what medication it is that you're taking, and I don't know what you're taking it for, but we typically go by Hale's book of medication with nursing. So medications are ranked from an L1 to an L5 category, L1 being the safest, L5 being something you probably shouldn't use while breastfeeding. In the hospital, most patients that say deliver via C-section and end up with a prescription for oxycodone or whatever it be, are still safe to breastfeed. Again, this is not medical advice. You'll want to talk to your doctor about it, as well as baby's pediatrician, especially if you don't have a term healthy newborn. However, if it's something that's been given like that, then I would say consult your doctors, and as long as it's not an abundant amount, it's usually a small enough amount that passes into the breast milk that it doesn't cause any issues.
Cool. So that is about our time. That was 30 minutes, and we could go on and on and on.
There's still so many questions.
We are hoping to do this more, or at least find ways to answer more of your questions. We also really encourage you to reach out into your community and find an IBCLC trained and specifically awesome for the breastfeeding situation that you're in. So NICU, twins, newborn, toddler, teether, stomach bug, weaning, inducing lactation. If you are someone that's inducing, what is that called? I think it's called inducing lactation. So if like you're not pregnant, you're
if you're adopting or something.
or your partner's the one having the baby, but you're the one nursing. I just read an awesome article about that.
Yep.
So we still want to hear from you. We're still going to answer questions. We just can't do it all tonight. So Aisha, expecting baby number 2 in mid-April. I just wanted to read this in case you didn't see it. And hoping to, I have an April baby. You have an October baby, don't you?
No.
I'm hoping to have a successful breastfeeding journey with him by being properly informed. Thanks to all your videos. I've been following the series and loving it. Thank you for the love.
Thank you.
That's awesome. This is not super natural for either of us to just almost whip our boobs out and talk to you about this, but we do think that being honest is just the way to go, and there's just so many conflicting things. So we talked about periods, so keep them coming. Let us know where you're at in the breastfeeding journey, and thank you.
Thanks for tuning in.
The hashtag that we adopted during my weird offline season of YouTube was We Birth Boldly. So we will find you if you are posting on Twitter or any other social media outlet on hashtag We Birth Boldly. We will find you. Otherwise, post your questions here. I upload every Wednesday. I will see you next week. Good night.
Bye.
And whoop, whoop, whoop.